there has to be more to the story than this. There has to be like some Transformer shit. Like it's more than meets the eye. You know what I'm saying? Autobots type shit roll out. It has to be. Yeah, it has to be. Right? I hope. Guys, welcome into yet another video. It is your Lord and Savior, Lord Dragunov, back with another AOT reaction. I know I've been slacking on Attack on Titan content. I've been reacting and doing all this other stuff with other things. But I've been able to blast on those things. And I've been getting feedback on those things. And I appreciate that feedback. And I just like to do a little bit more things besides just Attack on Titan. Even though I know Attack on Titan is the shit. But that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just dabbling in there. Nonetheless, we're back with another AOT reaction. This is by your friendly neighborhood, Brown's Magic. Yeah, she's back. She's back posting the videos of the AOT. I know recently she just went to the NYC Anime Expo that had Hajime Isayama's panel there. So she went and did that, and I know she did a couple of videos about that and was talking about her experience there. I didn't quite see those yet. I'm going to watch those as well. But there was one in particular she just posted a couple of hours ago that basically the title states that she is defending Chapter 139. Me knowing, you know what I'm saying, what she represents and the things that she's talked about and the things that she's done in regards of the AOT community, I know this has to be more to the story. So, again, we're just going to get in here. We're going to watch this. It's a nice little 17-minute video, so I'm going to check this out and see what this is talking about because I think it's going to have some good content to it. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and check that out and see. But again, guys, you know the business. Before we get into it, let's get the business out the way. If you like the video and you like the content that's being produced to you guys, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you really like it, go ahead and feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. Both of those things help the channel out tremendously and help us grow and help us or help us to be seen with more eyes. And we very much appreciate you guys do that. Also, guys, feel free to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Let me know. I'm still in this whole... I know we've pretty much kind of settled the debate on 139 being absolute rubbish, you know, comparatively speaking. And we've already said our facts and everything about it. But still, guys, if you still love that shit, if you still like 139, I want to know. Let me know, man. Let me know. Go ahead and hit that notification bell as well as share the video with others that you may feel will like the video. That will be awesome. Those things that are being asked is all 100% free. Doesn't cost you a goddamn dime. But let's get into the reaction, though. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and react to this. We're going to go ahead and see what she is talking about. Y'all also feel free to go ahead and subscribe to her channel as well. Again, she has great AOT content, and she has great content in general. So you guys go ahead and show some love. If you're not subscribed to her and you're subscribed to me, go ahead and check her out as well. I know she's a bigger, much bigger creator than me. However, we still share the love over here. Right? But let's get into it. Let's figure out what's defendable about Chapter 139. I'm very intrigued. Let's go. Let's click it. Let's figure it out. Let's see what's going on. Entitled Brown's Magic Defends Chapter 139. Huh. Let's see.
All right. I just had this fucking idea a couple seconds ago, so I was like, let me just fucking go with it. So, this is how fucking easy it is to be an ending defender, right? Attack on Titan has no problems. Like, it is the perfect story. It's the best story I've ever read. The ending was so fucking good. The ending was amazing. The end of Attack on Titan just makes so much sense because you start the story off with a little boy who watches his mother get eaten, and all he wants is revenge, 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 pretty much. Mm-hmm. And he
True.
meets Mikasa, who teaches, through their dynamic, he learns that the world is cruel and that there is beauty in this world, even though there is cruelness. So his interactions with his friends throughout the entire series is what makes him realize the cruel beauty of the world. The world is cruel because he met his friends through circumstances such as war, conflict, titans. He doesn't know until the end, but, genocide. That is the context by which he meets the people he loves so much.
Okay.
So that is the cruel beauty of the world. And how this ties into the end is that, and what makes the end so perfect is that Eren still realizes that the world is cruel and beautiful. That is how he dies, even. He dies with a cruel beheading, but a beautiful kiss of the person he loves the most, kissing him. And war and conflict and genocide is just a never-ending cycle, which is why after the 8 pages, we see the tree and the little boy at the tree just signaling that it's all damned to happen over and over and over again. Eren's rumbling was not the right choice. It was a bad idea. He was never going to go for 100% because he just wanted to make his friends heroes. And the cruel beauty of that is that he loved his friends so much that he did this atrocious thing to make them loved and revered. That is cruel beauty. I'm going to kill a bunch of people for you, the person I love the most. Even though you...
I think she's saying all this as like... as like a way like to show like she said, like it's super easy to try to defend it by giving it a weird, nuanced type subject and a viewpoint of cruel beauty in the world. So I think that's what she's trying to do. But I think she's going to end that pretty quickly and kind of just go ahead and go with it because there's no way that she truly believes the words that are coming out of her mouth. No fucking way. No way. Let's continue.
You don't want that. It's cruel and it's beautiful and it's ironic and it's so well written. On to Reiner. Reiner is a perfect character. He was written to have this sort of split personality. He's a warrior. No, he's a soldier. So he goes back and forth over and over between being a warrior and a soldier. And what's brilliant about the way his character ends is that he starts with such a serious tone. No. He starts with such a playful tone. He's like this big brother to Eren and the rest of the 104th. They all rely on him because he's big and strong and his stature is huge. So they all rely on him. He's funny. He even tells Eren, hey, let's beat up Annie. And they laugh over that. And Eren's like, right. So Eren tries to fight her and he loses, right? And it's funny when they're training and everything's cute and cool. And so through the middle, we see that he's having this inner turmoil. I'm a warrior, no, I'm a soldier, right? So he has this conflict. He even wants to kill himself when he returns to Marley.
That's true.
At the end of the series, we end the series in the same way we begin it with Reiner, right? Reiner is this jokester. He's this big guy. He's this silly guy. And so it makes sense that he ends the series sniffing paper because he's always had a crush on Historia. If you remember from the Forest of Trees, when Eren is successfully kidnapped and sitting on top of the tree with Ymir and Bert, it isn't until Reiner mentions Historia that Eren gets upset and he says, hey, I'm going to make sure you die the most painful death. So that is why, that is foreshadowing for Eren standing up for Historia. That is why Eren is so upset when Historia is brought up, because it always reminds him of being kidnapped. He never loved Historia. He never liked her that much either. She was just a cool friend, right? That he had a conversation with. Historia reminds Eren of being kidnapped. So, of course, he would never love her.
Yeah, she's trolling. She's definitely trolling this shit. Yeah, for sure. But I can see what she's saying about... I can see what she's saying regarding the fact of, like, it's super easy to just start making up random shit when it comes to the story. You know what I'm saying? Just when it comes to the story as a whole, it's super easy to just make up bullshit and tie it into the story to where people will be like, oh yeah, sure. But it's easy, but yet all those things can still be questioned. All those things can still be, like I said, those things can still be questioned. Like the whole Reiner point she made up. If she's speaking in the context of somebody saying this, you know, as opposed to her. The whole Reiner situation too. That shows no character development. That shows nothing. You know what I'm saying? We go from a man who, you know, who again is very similar to Eren. They're literally both sides of the same coin to a degree. You know what I mean? He was told, as Reiner was told, that the people on the island were these devils, were these maniacs, were these crazy motherfuckers, and we need to do everything in our power to stop them. And by so doing that, you will also be honored here in Marley, and we'll let your, you know, your family and shit be praised and stuff like that. Now, granted, you ain't gonna be so great. We still gonna look at you funny, but you'll at least be, you know, all right type situation. But that was enough for him, because also in that situation, he was trying to get the approval of his dad, who was a Marleyan, who had an affair with his mom type situation. Not so much an affair, but a fling or whatever. So that situation arose. So he worked his ass off to try to do that, but his mind broke because he started to see that, damn, there are good people here. There are folks here that are not devils. They're not fucking devils. Just like he said at the dinner table back when he was back in Marley, when it was the time skip. He was like, they're not devils. They're not. No, they're not. Right? So it's the same type of turmoil that Eren was having also when he was talking to Ramsey, when he was talking to the boy, and he was talking to himself, saying that, yo, there are good people here. I understand that there are good people in Marley. You know, folks that are innocent, right? That's why he apologized, you know, profusely, constantly begging him to forgive me. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Because he knows that y'all ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm going to be the one to take away your freedoms. How am I fucking sitting up here going to save you now when literally, you know, a week later, I'm going to be the person responsible for killing you? How does that make me look? So the same type of turmoil there. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things to where if we're going to go off of what she said with the Reiner thing, that a person would probably say, that shows no character development. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shows absolutely no character development. He's already, it doesn't matter. He's already done his thing. He's done. It's over with, bro. You know what I'm saying? This woman is now married and doing all this shit and whatever, and you still doing acting stupid, still acting crazy, reverting back to your childlike state. That just shows no character development for me, and it's just a silly way of doing that. So again, you can kind of question all these things, but I'm gonna let her continue though. We're gonna see where she's going with this. We're gonna see where she's going with this, y'all.
What else? What's another thing people talk about? Ymir. Ymir's story ends so well because it just the biggest theme of Attack on Titan is cruel beauty. How everything is a paradox. Attack on Titan is built on a big paradox, right? Even Eren's freedom is a paradox. He's free, but he's not free. It wasn't his choice to do the rumbling. He saw a future where he did it, so he just went with that future, but not on his own free volition. He did that because he saw it. So there was no way he couldn't do it because he saw it. See how it makes sense as a paradox? It's a freedom paradox. The entire series is built on paradoxes. Cruel beauty is a paradox. It's an oxymoron, like cold fire. So, it makes perfect sense that here's this person you thought was this abused.
Maybe all right.
Goddamn. Here's this person you thought was this abused slave. No, it turns out she was the bad guy all along. It just goes to show that the smallest person can be the start of the smallest person
she's
in it.
She's struggling. She's struggling to make some shit up. She's struggling to make some shit up because, again, like I said, I know she's trolling this shit, and I know that's why. Again, she just alluded to that by saying, "What else do people say?" It's very she's just because they'll say shit like the way she's saying it. They'll say dumb shit like that. They'll say dumbass fucking shit like, "Oh, you know, Ymir was this and Ymir." Again, as I've said in multiple videos, you can go back in the library and see. Ymir's story should have ended after Eren freed her in chapter 122. At the end of chapter 122, once she gave him complete control of the founding titan, that was it. She was free. She was done. Her story was ended. Her story should have been over with at that point in that particular time. It should have been done. For sure. But then they wanted to add that thing. That's why we say that it was so stupid. It was so dumb. Because it didn't make sense. It made absolutely no sense for her to even show her face back up there because she chose Mikasa to be the one because she wanted to figure out what love was, and the only way she could figure out what love was by being next to Mikasa when she killed Eren to understand that she was able to let Eren go. Like, that's fucking dumb. That's like some of the dumbest, shittiest fucking ridiculous writing I've ever heard. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Her story was complete. Ymir's story was complete. After the reveal that she was a slave, because all that time we thought that she was just revered as this goddess, revered as this person who just did all these great wonders and shit like here and all that stuff. But the reality of it was that she was actually a slave and she had that slave mentality. Granted, I do agree with the concept that she didn't really know what love was outside of the love she had for like people and things like that. And, you know, of course, freeing the pigs and showing that. That's what it was. But even that act of her freeing the pigs is somewhat a subtle act of her kind of accepting the fact of, at least I can free y'all, right? So you all won't be doing this. I'm stuck here, but at least I can free you guys. So I understood that while I was reading it. And then she still suffered, but again, she was in that slave mentality, that slave state of mind. That's why she continued to do what she did for the royal family, because I consistently believe she was still in that slave state of mind. But Eren came about, and Eren was like, no, you're not all those things. You're not a god. You're just a person. You're just this. That's all you are. You make the choice. You waited all this fucking time. Give me that. Give me the responsibility. I'll take on the responsibility, and I'm going to do this. You're free. And she cried, and it was a beautiful fucking scene. Amazing scene. And that was it. Her story should have been done. Gone. Complete. Finished. Right? But no, he wanted to add that foolishness back in there. I'm like, it's fucking ridiculous. So, anyway. Continue.
Attack on Titan can be the one who makes the biggest difference, right? It's why Flock starts off as this scared person, and he grows in the series. He grows to this powerful guy with this army, the Jaegerists, built on the back of Eren. But Flock is still such a small guy, and he was a coward, but he grew balls, basically. Just showing you how much the little guy can make a difference. How one person can make a difference. Armin, when he grabs the hot, whatever the fuck, and he pours it on himself, and he sacrifices himself to kill Bert. That is another example of the little guy making all the difference. So Ymir, the little girl, being the boss fight, kind of, in a way, at the end, where she's controlling everything. Eren is free, but he's not free because she has her hands and stuff, sending people visions and whatnot. Ymir controls the evil in the story. So the cruel beauty is, Ymir was a slave girl, but she wanted love, right? As most girls and children do, they want love. So Ymir, being the vessel for which all of this hatred started on, right? Because she started the 2,000 years of terrorism on Marley and the rest of the world via her Titan power. And it's Fritz who makes her pass it down to her children by having them cannibalize her. It just shows that the little guy makes the difference, right? It's children that start this cycle of titans, and it's Fritz. And so Eren, this whole entire series is this Fritz figure, because Eren subjugates Mikasa to turmoil because he won't accept her sarong. On top of him not accepting her sarong, he also won't be a decent guy.
See,
Mikasa can never help the fact that she loves him, just like Ymir can never help the fact that she loves Fritz. So, since Eren and Fritz are both terrible people, they're horrible, they're villains, they're horrible, terrible people, morally black, horrible, awful people. Since that is the case, then since that is how the story is, then it makes, what the fuck was I talking? It makes sense that the cruel beauty is that Ymir is in love with Fritz, but he won't change who he is as a person because he's that bad of a person. Mikasa is in love with Eren, but he won't change who he is because that's who he is as a person, and it makes perfect sense, and it just all meshes together in this beautiful paradox of what makes Attack on Titan Attack on Titan. It is a story about freedom where the main character is the biggest slave in the story, and the most free person in Attack on Titan is Mikasa, because she is free to be a slave to Eren.
Makes no
Her
sense.
servitude is by choice.
Absolutely makes no sense.
So she is the most free person. She keeps the scarf because she is saying, I accept everything about you, Eren. I accept you the way you are. I know who you are. I know you won't change, and I'm killing you because I am free to do so. And this just shows how free she is. And it just falls in line with the cruel beauty paradox that is Attack on Titan oxymoron, cold fire, ice fire. It just makes so much perfect sense. Okay? And what else do I want to get at? Thanking Eren for genocide is another cruel and beautiful thing. That's why it's so perfect.
That part was dumb too. You know what I mean? At the end where Armin was like, hey man, I appreciate you for killing everybody and putting that. So fucking stupid. So goddamn dumb. It was bad. That's all I got to say. Chapter 139 was fucking atrocious, dog. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. Terrible.
139. When Armin, Peak, Connie, Reiner, Mikasa, obviously, Levi, when they all feel, empathy, sympathy, whatever for Eren after killing him, and they thank him. Well, I mean, Armin thanks him. Peak wanted to talk to him. So on and so forth. When that all happens, it's perfect because it just goes to show you that cruel beauty was always one of the main themes in Attack on Titan, because is this cruel that Eren is being thanked for genocide? Yes. But is it beautiful that they're sending their friend off with one last, we care about you? Yes. And that is the cruel beauty of Attack on Titan. This is the paradox of the show. It makes so much sense because Levi being with Falco and Gabby, because Falco was always a caretaker. We see that because that's how he meets Eren. He wants to take care of Eren Kruger. So Eren, with Falco, with Levi, and Gabby makes...
I see what you're going with there. Falco, it makes sense that Falco's the one pushing Levi around at the end, because Falco always wanted to work for the retirement home and for homes of helping people. So Falco actually applied for the job before they did the mission. I get it.
sense because Falco loves Gabby, and Falco loves to take care of people.
Yep.
And Levi needs to be taken care of
Yep.
because his leg hurts. So it makes perfect sense. What else is another discrepancy that people talk about? Thank you for the genocide. Aaron's actions make perfect sense. He never wanted to do the genocide. When he said that he wanted to protect Paradis's fate, he would not leave Paradis's future up to fate. He was saying that
he was lying. He was lying. He was lying the whole time. He just said that as a bravado speech, just being like, "Yo, fuck that, man. This is what we gonna do." But he didn't want to do. Yeah.
Is above fate. And that's why Armin's the narrator of Attack on Titan in the anime. Because Armin is above fate. He's a character where fate does not negatively impact him. He is the character of luck. That is because of his philosophy. Isayama wants you to know that Armin is the character with the right philosophy. His views on being alive, his anti-nihilistic views. Armin is the hope in the future, and that's why Eren believes and trusts in him so much. That is why when he says, "I will not leave Paradis's future up to fate," he leaves it to Armin, who he views is not fate. He views Armin as someone who's above fate. That's why Armin wins the Serum Bowl, because fate had decided that Armin would live, and Eren knows that Armin is above fate, and that
she on point, man. She on point, dog. Man. Man, that's some deep shit, man.
And Annie not receiving any
She can't even keep a
punishment
straight fire.
for her part, the part she played in
She can't keep this up. She's
the
doing pretty good.
series, in toying with Survey Corps members like yo-yos and killing people indiscriminately.
She said like
in
yo-yos.
her terrorist attacks of Paradise Island. Her
She was
not
swinging
receiving
that
any
bit.
punishment, her being able to meet her dad and reunite and date Armin is just another paradox. It shows that even if you do everything wrong, life isn't fair. And life benefits those who deserve it the least sometimes. And Annie learned her lesson. She wasn't that bad. She didn't commit a global genocide. And if you think about it, Marley was right. Paradis did raise a devil who just came and committed a genocide.
Yep.
So yeah. So Annie, Bert, and Reiner and Marcel, when he was alive, they were right for what they did to Paradis. Nothing was wrong with what they did because look what happened. They were right. The rumbling, they were trying to prevent the rumbling. And the rumbling happened just like they thought it would. So that justifies their terrorist attacks. And it's cruel, but it's beautiful. The beauty is that here's kids. Because what were they, 13 or something when they?
I give her that. She went 17 minutes with this the whole time.
Aren't atrocities. Because
I give her that.
Paradis deserved it. The cruel beauty of that is that they're kids. Kids are supposed to be doing stuff together, playing, whatnot. The beauty of that is that they met Eren, became friends with him, so on and so forth. The cruelness is it was a betrayal. And so it just further ties into the main theme of Attack on Titan, which is cruel beauty. Which is how the series ends. With the kiss, with the bird tying Mikasa's scarf for one last time. Showing that Eren, another cruel, beautiful moment, Eren still cares about her even in death. And his will is so strong that birds and animals and squirrels and bees and dogs and cats and fish do his bidding. They will always take care of Mikasa. And I think that's all I have to say. 139, GOAT. I loved it. The ending of Attack on Titan, no one will ever be able to do better than that.
I agree.
Thank you for listening. So, That's just how dumb these ending defenders sound.
Yeah.
As you can see, it goes in fucking circles.
Yep.
And it's super fucking easy to justify the silliest bullshit that you say with some silly bullshit.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's super easy. And that's what I kind of figured. Like I said, I knew it was more than meets the eye. But she's absolutely 100% right. You know, it's super easy to just start making up random shit that has nothing, especially when, again, what she was trying to do is she was going off that whole pseudo-intellectual bullshit that a lot of people be talking about. Like, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? It really is not that. You know what I'm saying? Folks like to do that. Folks like to point that stuff out. But, man, folks like me, folks like her, folks like other folks, man, we can shut that shit down quick with just straight facts. Because we ourselves, once again, and I will reiterate, we are taking the information that is counteracting against their little argument from the story. Because they're having to take subjects and meanings outside of the story for it to make sense to them. Whereas we look at this and we're looking at the story and we're like, this shit don't make sense. This shit is ridiculous. This shit is stupid. Right? And they're like, no. Like she was saying, no, it's about a cruel irony and beauty between, Marley and Paradise, how they were the same but yet different, and they, all that. No, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We know it. The ending was atrocious, and the ending was bad, and you cannot defend it. You can't defend it. It's not defendable. The only people who can the only thing that you can say is you can accept it. You can accept the ending and say, okay, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to that point to where I've accepted the ending and this is what we got. Okay, whatever. Right? That's what we got. All right. But it's still a bad ending. It was still bad. It was still written badly. So let's finish this out, y'all. Let's finish this out.
It's too easy to be like, this makes sense because X. The cruel beauty of Attack on Titan and the ending scene makes so much sense because in season 1, we see that amongst this war, Hana kisses Franz even though he's a corpse. And it's cruel but beautiful because even in the face of despair, she sends him off with one last kiss. You know how fucking stupid that sounds, but it's so fucking easy to do, and this is what they do.
Yeah.
This is what they do. This is what they continue to do. And it's like, it's okay to sit down and say, hey, this doesn't make too much sense. It's okay to admit, hey, I might be reaching with this, but I like it because X, Y, or Z.
Exactly.
You can't push onto people who are not receptive of what you're saying that the ending is good because X, Y, or Z, completely unrelated thing. Like, it's obnoxious at this point.
Yeah.
Anyways, 139 is the worst chapter of any story I've ever read in my life. It is really bad.
Christ. Yeah.
See you guys next time for next video. Bye.
Why she roll her eyes like that? First of all, there's nothing I want to point out, man. What we got going on right here? What she eat? Some chips? Chips and dip? I want some chips and dip. I want some Tostinos. That's what I want. That's what I want. Shit, this ain't. Well, again, my suspicions were kind of correct. I kind of figured that she was going to kind of go that way and go that route and kind of do a little, a play on words type situation there with it. So yeah, I mean, that was good, and she's absolutely 100% right on that. Folks will do that. Folks will try to go outside of the story and try to create this mystical reality that wasn't Attack on Titan and wasn't what we received. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty easy to kind of do that. I mean, the way that she kind of did it, you can kind of do that with every story and kind of do that with all stories for the most part. But it's hard to do it when you have people who actually have read the chapter understood what it was talking about. And it was just like she said, it's very simple to admit, you know what? Some things just don't add up. This just doesn't really quite make a lot of sense to me. And it's okay for that. It's okay to accept that and say, man, look, it is what it is. But people are not so willing, as I've said, and I've said time and time and time again. I believe the reason people do that is because those people have a hard time with acceptance. They have a hard time accepting that something that they put their heart and soul into, in terms of staying up to date with it, supporting it, buying the mangas, doing whatever it is that it was, buying the merch, doing all that, turned out to not end like it should have ended, or turned out that it just ended terribly. They can't accept that. So what they'll do is they'll grasp at straws, they'll create scenarios, and they'll try to piece together a story that's not even there and make it more complicated than what it is to try to support the narrative that they themselves have made up in their head. They will do that. I get it, but we gotta stop. We gotta stop, and we gotta accept things for what it is. Again, I hated the ending, much like Brown's Magic. She hated the ending as well, but we accept the fact that this is what we got. We're hoping for an anime only ending. Again, she's still way more convinced than me. I'm still on the fence a bit, you know what I mean? But I am hoping for a anime only ending. I really am, because it definitely needs to. But who knows if it will happen? We just don't know, but I am hoping for that. Another quick thing that I want to touch on too, that I did see that she was talking about and that I heard about, was I heard that Isayama was actually crying at the event. Not crying, like not sobbing, crying, but I think he teared up and stuff, and he was kind of upset for the most part, and he apologized for the ending of Attack on Titan. I heard that that's what he did. And to be perfectly honest with you, you goddamn right you should have apologized. I'm glad you fucking apologized. You gave us that piece of shit. Hell yeah, apologize. Apologize. Good. Yeah. I am glad that he took accountability. That shows accountability, that you knew what happened. We knew that this was not what it was supposed to be. And you, like he said, and I heard him say, that he tried his best to try to convey the meanings of that what he was trying to convey. And I get that, and I respect him for doing that. I really do. Because, again, we all know that a lot of it just didn't make sense. But, again, we don't know the true behind the scenes. We don't know if Kodansha was like, you need to put this out here right now. We need this. We don't like this edit. And we don't like the way this is. Change it. We don't know. We have no idea, to be honest with you. But all that we do know is what we got. And what we got, for the most part, and for most people, they did not enjoy. So for him to apologize and say that he's sorry for what he released, I respect him for that. You know what I mean? I really do respect him for that. I just wanted to kind of touch on that real quick. But that's the video, basically, guys. Again, she's 100% right. Great content as usual. This is how it can get, and this is how mental gymnastics it can get. This is the mental gymnastics that all the indie defenders try to do, and they try to go through this. If only they could see reason, and that'd be great. Now, in my case, I haven't seen too much more indie defenders. I thought we kind of squashed them a bit. I'm not on any type of polls or any type of Reddits or forums, so I don't know how big the monster is when it comes to the ending defending culture. But for the most part, I thought that's been slayed and that's been handled, and people already took care of that. But if it's not out there, y'all gonna have to find me some stuff. This is where I leave to y'all. Y'all gotta find me some stuff or some videos of people just straight out, flat out defending the ending, so that I can break that shit down and destroy that shit. You know what I mean? I love to do it. So find me that shit. Give it to me in the comments so that I can go ahead and look that stuff up and give y'all some reactions to that. But again, as I said, Brown's Magic, great video. Appreciate that. But again, you guys know the deal. Go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.